Hi guys, and welcome or welcome back. Is your game unplayable after the last update? There's a number of reasons why players are experiencing this. So let's just start with the simplest things that you can do to fix your game. If you open up your menu and there's no option to load your saved games, or you're having some other issues of missing things, the best thing to do, especially if you don't have mods, is to go to Steam. You can exit your game to do that. Library, Paralives, and there's a number of things you should do here. You go to Steam and you open up Settings. You go down to Downloads and down to Clear Download Cache. Click on that. Confirm. If you didn't close Paralives, it will close Paralives for you because it cannot do that while you're in game. So it's best to do that when you're out. Then it will ask you just to log in again. Alright. So you will need to log back into Steam if you do that. Sometimes broken data stays behind, so it's best to just clear your cache. Alright. The other place you need to clear cache from is you go to your... You can press Start and Run, or Windows and Run. Alternatively, Windows R. And then when you choose Run, you type %temp%, say OK, and you will see there's a lot of temporary files. You select them all and you delete them. The ones that cannot be deleted, your computer will prompt you with. You say do this for all current items and skip. And there will be 4 items left on my computer that I cannot delete, which is fine. Alright, now you've cleared your cache. The next thing you should do is go back to Paralives in your library. And then over here on the side, there's this little cog. Okay, go to Properties. And then you go down to Installed Files. Also, don't do this with your game open. And then it says on the bottom, verify this game's files are installed correctly. Click on Verify Integrity of Game Files. Then you wait a little bit, give it some time, and for me, it for instance says verifying integrity of files, how many %, and here at the bottom it also says validating, how many %. It usually doesn't take that long, so just give it a moment to do that. So generally, if you're playing without mods, this should fix your issues. If it doesn't, then you should do a bug report, because then there's something else wrong. Alright, so this is if your game was working fine before the update, you have no mods. You can do this with mods as well, but there's something else I need to show you if you have mods and it's not working. And there we go. It says that your files were successfully validated, download 1 of 1, okay, so I'll quit that. Now let's go into the game. I'll just start it through here. Now if you have mods and you cannot even get past the loading screen, then I would write down the names of the mods or take a photo of them in Steam, and then I would unsubscribe from all of them, and then I would launch the game. You can also clear your cache from Steam after unsubscribing from all of them, just to make sure. then you should be able to load up. If you're loading up a vanilla game, then you should be able to. Alright, so we're back in the game. Now, you could actually get this far and then only hit the problem of your mods list not showing up at all. Initially it did that for me. In my case now, my mods are showing up because I moved them. I will show you how to do that. But some of them genuinely are broken after the update and are not working. And I've hit that where I was putting back bit by bit, and the last bit I put back, there's actually a problem with now. So the first thing you can just do is you can try and see if you disable, for instance, some of the hairs. I usually do 3. Let's just find another hair. If it kind of resets your window and okay, everything will show up. If it doesn't though, or if you run into this problem, I'll show you what I have at the moment. I'm just going to take a blank map that I have here. I have the problem, for instance, that in my catalogs I have a mix-up. Some objects are not placeable. Okay, I don't have money. Let's just... I don't have money, so we'll quickly say set money. What a handy cheat this is, by the way. 50,000. Okay, now that's sorted. Okay, now I have money, but I cannot place whatever this is. And it's not something that shows that it's download. It actually shows that it's something in my game. It does that with more than one of the objects. I just can't remember where the other one was that it's doing this with. So my mods are showing up. Here, for instance, I have a custom bench and things like that. They're showing up. But I just have some mix up in my catalog as well, where something will show that's not what it usually is. I can place all my other objects, but when I go to this specific area, I cannot. And they say to reload your thumbnail, you can just try to change the color. So, okay, then I click on that, but still I cannot place whatever this is. And this is also not all the chairs I have. So something is bugging out. All right. Now, I'll just save that so I can go back to it. I'm going to go back to my mods. Now they've added in-game a place for you to turn off your mods and turn on your mods. I haven't had much success with this showing anything. I mean, if I mass turn them off and I go and load that game up, my custom content table still shows up. My chairs haven't changed. So that's what I mean with I haven't had much success with that. So I wouldn't bother with that. And let's give it a few months. It just takes a bit of time to load everything up. So it's like it freezes for a moment. Okay, but there it is. Now, my suggestion is, firstly, if your mod is just directly installed from Steam, that you actually move it to the Paralives folder. Alright? This is hidden on Windows 11. In my other video, I explain kind of how you find it and things like that. But so I'm not going to go into that. But that's the first thing you should do. for your mods to show up is to move it to the Paralives folder. I also show that in my other video, and I will link the video for you so that you can go to that. That helps with a lot of things. It also helps with things that show up with a white texture. But the other thing that you should do is you can take a picture of your mods or write them down, whatever is easiest for you. Then go to your folders. Let me quickly show you where that is. You need to find on your computer app data, local low, Paralives, and make sure your mods are in there. But you cannot be subscribed to the Steam Workshop with a mod and have the mod here. Then your game will not work. So the moment you move folders, the very important thing that you have to do is you have to go and unsubscribe from that specific mod from Steam Workshop. Alright, the other folder that you need to be able to find is this one. This is where Steam keeps its subscribed mods. As you can see, mine is empty because nothing is in there anymore. I've moved all of them. They are generally saved under, let's say your game is on the local disk and Steam runs from there. Then Program Files 86, Steam, Steam Apps, Workshop, Content, and this is the specific file number that it saves it under, 1118520. Alright, so anything that you subscribe from in Steam will be over here. And you need to go, let's find one that I can show you quickly. So let's go to Steam. We'll download something that I don't want, that I will delete after. Alright, let's just take something like this. Okay, so here I am. I want to subscribe to it. Why is it not giving? Oh, there. Okay, so simple. I just hit subscribed. Okay, so now I'm subscribed to this. If I go back to my Steam folder, there will be one item there now, which will be under a number. Now, we don't want to have this in our Steam folder because your game will not see it most of the time. So you click on there, you cut this, and you go to your folder that's local low. So it's this one. It's under your username, app data, local low, Paralives, and you simply paste it in here. Alright, there's your Hello Kitty character selector now. You will see after that this file should be empty now because you've cut it from there. Now if you go to Steam, you can unsubscribe from here, or you could go to the top here in the community tab, your items, subscribed items, and then it will show it there. If you have a lot of items over here that you've moved from file now, then you go and you say unsubscribe from all. Or if you just want to do some of them, you just say unsubscribe here. Okay, so that's a way to do it. Are you sure you want to remove all your subscriptions for Paralives? It cannot be undone? Yes. Okay, then this is empty. It should still show up in your game, and you should still be able to unsubscribe from there, or you're not unsubscribing, you're disabling it. All right. My suggestion is that once you've done something like this, quit your game and load up again. All right. Now I'm going to just remove that from my game because I don't want Hello Kitty. I don't specifically want that in my okay. So that's the one option, the one thing you're supposed to do. Now let's say you have run into a problem with your mods and you've already moved all of them out of the Steam folder, that one with a number, and you've moved them into your Paralives folder. Now some of them show up, some of them don't, or you've hit a problem like I have. My suggestion with that is quit your game, create yourself a folder on your desktop just to make it easy. Something that you will know what it is. Let's call it something like problem. I don't know. Anything that you will remember. Open it up. All right. Now, from your Paralives folder, we're going to do basically the 50-50 method. So you take however many of your mods. Let's see. Now be careful here because you can't just move everything. You need some of these folders. So let's do up to here. I'm going to remove them. Now, something about this 0 mod. Okay, I cannot remove all of them. So be careful. Some of the things need to be in this folder of yours. Your community addressables. I mean, the game will generate a lot of them on its own. The game will create some of them on its own, but at the same time, we're not busy doing all that now. We are just making sure that we do the 50-50 method. We don't want to mess up by having files move here that we shouldn't. All right. So let's minimize this. And I mean, if there's still a problem, you should go clear your cache just to make sure. But all right, let's say we're just going into the game. Now we're going to go check it. We're going to see, does removing this amount of mods make any difference? By the way, if you have the plugin that allows for more mods to work in your game, I've heard online and read online that this is not currently working. It's not compatible with the newest update. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I had this plugin and my game was not playable. So I'm just informing you of that. I had lots of problems afterwards, so I removed the plugin. Then my game worked vanilla. So I just needed to sort out my mods and see which ones are working or which are not working. Okay, so now I only have 41 mods in here from 102. Okay, we'll just disable some hairs just to and re-enable them. Okay, just to make sure to have another hair. Doesn't look like I have another one. Okay. Anyway, this just kind of reloads, so I disable enable. All right. Now let's load up a game that we don't care about. We're going into spy mode. Let's go to my specific problem I was having. So I'm still having the problem. Now this tells me that it's not one of these mods that I just removed. It's not that. Either that or I need to go clear my cache. But alright, let's go from the standpoint that the problem mod is still in. Okay. So in Sims language you would call this the 50-50 method. Okay, we're exiting the game. Now let's go back to our folders. So what I'm going to do now, I think the easiest thing is just I'm going to create a folder called problem 2. Alright, so from my Paralives folder, I'm going to carefully not take out anything that I shouldn't take out. And I'm going to put it in problem 2. Right. And what you can do in between is you can run your game vanilla. I mean, these games don't take very long to load up, so you can run it vanilla. It should say that you have basically almost no mods because everything's uninstalled. Then you check if your game works like that. Let's see. Yeah, all my chairs are showing up. I don't have an issue. Okay, wonderful. Now I'm going to take my problem 1 folder. I'm going to select all. And I'm going to place them into my Paralives folder, which now, aha, I didn't actually remove everything. That's interesting. I made a bit of a mistake, but this kind of helped us because everything was fine with these things in game. Interesting. Okay, so let's place back everything that was in this folder. Okay. There we go. Minimize it. Let's load up our game. So this is a bit of a tedious process, but I mean, if you'd like your game to work and you'd like to be able to play, then it's worth going through it. And I have a lot of mods. Some people don't even have this amount. But you can literally just do it 50-50, and then you have to start narrowing it down. Once you find out in which group the problem mod is, you'll have to put back just a few at a time, keep a list of which ones it is. Wait, I have to do this with mods. You keep a list of which ones you've been placing back, and then you just make sure that you check those mods or check your game with those mods, and that way okay, everything is still showing up, so we definitely know in which group the problem is. I usually go through my other categories as well, just to see that I don't have problems in any of the others. And I basically just check, is my custom content showing up? Yes, it is. It is showing up and it's all placeable. I have one bed that usually bugs out if there's a problem. Here's the bed and it actually works. Okay, so I know from this group that I have everything is working. All right, super. Save and quit. Now I go back to, here's my Paralives content. We can close the first one that said problem. And now in problem 2, I have a problem mod. So let's quickly check. I'm going to take 5. I'm going to take the first 5. And what I'm doing is I'm going to just copy them because I know I'm taking 5. The order is not going to change. So I'm going to copy this first 5 here. Do not add any other folders like a subfolder in which you put your mods. That will not work. It doesn't read. Okay. Now let's go and start Paralives with those 5 extra mods in. And now you're basically checking for anything that your game didn't have a problem with before. And if it has a problem now, then you know the mod is broken or the custom content is not working. And I think the biggest problem that people are having is with custom content at the moment. Oh, before I do that, I kind of forget, but it's become common practice for me to just disable and enable 3 things, usually hairs, and it just kind of reloads everything and makes sure it shows up. All right. I'm specifically going back to port where I had a problem. The problem is not there. Everything is fine. And if I go to beds, where I used to also have a problem, I can place this. Everything is fine. If you want to just make sure, you can go through your subcategories and just kind of give an eye over to see if everything looks the way it should. To me it does. I can place everything, so it's fine. One other category, yeah, over here it shows up as well. All right, so let's save. Now we're trying 5 more. So you basically get the idea, and you continue doing this until you find the culprit. Okay, you're narrowing it down. You're adding 5 at a time, 5 at a time. And what you can do, just to make sure that you don't get confused, is now that I have this 5 that I know work, I can delete them because I have them in my game. All right, I already placed them in Paralives. Here they are. So I don't have to worry about them anymore. Okay, let's take the next 5. And I'm just copying them so that I remember which ones they are. You can do it any way you want, make a list, whatever works for you. And again, we're starting the game. All right, something else I will quickly show you in game is there is a way that you can possibly, it didn't work for me, but you can possibly see which mod is creating a problem for you by using this, and it's in the cheat menu. So I'll fast forward this so you don't have to watch this, and then I will just show you what you can do. So one way that you can see is by opening your cheat console. Okay, Control-Shift-C works well for this. And instead of typing in a cheat, you open the drop-down menu next to cheat commands and you choose console. Now over here, it will show you any problems that your game is having. All right. Now it can be something silly like shadow strength or whatever. Okay, that's not a problem. You're actually on the lookout for red text. So if you disable everything else and you press on here, I have 0 at this time because there's no problem. But if you click on disabling everything else, like this, and the red one is not disabled, you can disable and enable, then you should see red text if there's a problem. Now sometimes when you hover over the specific problem, a little pop-up will come on the side that will give you a git number, or you know, that will say something specifically that has perhaps some mod identification in it, and then you can go back to your folder and check what's that number. If it's a Steam Workshop item that you did not place in the other folder, then the number it gives it is the number that you will find it under in your Steam folder where it keeps the mods. So that's kind of handy because then you can see what's causing the problem or what the problem is with. Alright guys, I hope this has been helpful. You know, it's all kind of trial and error for everyone, but this 50-50 method that I showed you here really does work. It's very tedious, but I mean, I'm going to do it because I want my game to work. So just at first take your big amount of mods, divide them in half, and create yourself a throwaway folder that you can just place half of them in. Just make sure you don't delete anything you don't want to delete. Use copy and paste if you need to. Keep a little list or take a photo, whatever it is that you need to do. And then you just put in half first, like you saw in my first half, there's a problem. So then I just turned them around, put in the second half, saw that there was no problem. And now I'm adding back 5 at a time. I mean, you can add 10 at a time if you want to, if you have a big amount of mods. But eventually you're going to have to try and narrow it down with 1, 1, 1 until you find out which one it is. So 5 is just working well for me. And as you can see, the game is running fine. Now I'm not loading into a saved file of mine yet because I want to not load in and have stuff be missing and things like that, and have the game auto save it like that. So right now I'm just using a throwaway empty lot, and I think that is the safest thing to do. So I hope this helped you. As always, be blessed and happy live simming. I really hope that you can play your game, and if I've helped somehow, then that's great. Please let me know in the comments if there's any other fixes you know of, if I've missed something, or if this has been helpful. I will be happy to hear that. Have a great day and goodbye.